All right, so what's happening? Yeah, it looks better now. Very good. All right, so we know what it is. It's a recap, man. Let's talk about it. Talk about how we did this week in the market, how we did this week in training, etc., etc. So some of you who were not actually taking trades yet, which, you know, is all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Just want to get some feedback from you on how this week was as far as training goes. See this other watch party. All right, cool. All right, watch parties look good. Page looks good. All right, we good. What's up, Stacy? All right, Stacy said she was 0-0 for the week. I see Jay Wallace just popped on. What's up, James? I see Carmella. Hello, Carmella. Stacy, how was training for you this week? They're playing some jams in here today. All right. And if you guys are just coming on, this is the recap, so just type in what you did this week as far as your trades or your training goes. JT said he was 2-0 this week. Right, stability and ranges. That's what you got out of training for this week, you saying? Or what stood out, I should say. Benito, what's good? Yo, Matthew was ill. When your numbers is a little different, you don't talk about it. I ain't mad at that. He said, I'll just say I didn't lose. Enough said. Jay Wallace, 3-0 for the week. Benito, what's up, man? How'd you do this week? Jay Wallace, that's remarkable, man. You're doing Project 21, right? What's happening, Joel? I see you. Stacy really enjoyed training this week. Joel said he's 0-0, training hard. That's what I want to hear. Yes, sir. Rich, I had a very good week. Reached 100 conscious views at 301. Yes, I saw that. Also saw 3 MRMHs and caught the follow-throughs on all 3. And Rich, you're doing just demo, or are you paper trading also? Do you have a live account? And you're paper trading your live, or you just doing demo for now? And if I'm all off, correct me, because I don't always remember who's doing what. I try to keep up what. Benito said he was 1-0 for the week. Excellent. James, did I ask you a minute ago about Project 21? If I didn't, I meant to. I was asking if you are doing Project 21. I think that you are, if I'm not mistaken. Dallas is 0-0. Excellent. Ramon, 0-0. He said this week, but the lessons learned throughout the week were priceless. Hard. J. Carly, 0-0. Excellent. For anyone on the outside that's looking in, the reason that I'm saying excellent when people are reporting that they're, whatever in O, is because of the O on the end. We focus on not losing our trades. That is the key for what it is that we do in the market. Key here is to not lose, period. James Wallace says yes, doing Project 21. 4-0 for Project 21. Had to start over after a loss. Okay. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I think it was about 2 weeks ago, right? Maybe 3 weeks. And ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that, if I remember correctly, I think we talked about when you had taken that loss. And that's really the takeaway. It's not about just losing to lose. It's about if you do happen to lose, you're gonna know exactly why, because there's something that you failed to do as far as the process goes. And it might be something that, could be insignificant to you at first. But most of the time, it's just taking a trade at the wrong time. Versus taking a trade at the right time because you've properly identified that the right time is present. Yeah, everybody's definitely rocking. Rich said, I got a live. Remember, I reset, thought I was going too fast, so went back to watching 301. 3-0 for Project 21 now. Okay, so 3-0 on live now. Wow. Very good. Very good. Now, it's interesting. Rich, what week was that when you said that you were resetting? How many weeks ago was that? And James Wilder said, yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. Okay. What's interesting is that, like, just even in James' case, if you look at James, just as an example, so 2 weeks ago, he reset, currently 4-0 for the project. And this is powerful, like what you actually hear as far as what people are doing. And look at what Rich says, 2 weeks. He said, that's the thing with TA, so many winners mindset wise, you don't want to be the one who ain't listening. Definitely not. It's like, you're going to win through osmosis. The reason that I'm bringing up the time is because, like you guys are mentioning a couple of weeks ago, right? So let me just for example, I think Rich is saying he's now 3-0. James is 4-0 in 2 weeks. Now, mind you, when we talk about slowing things down and things of that nature, I know that you guys have slowed things down. I know that you're going slow. And what's interesting is that the one thing that's taking place during your focus and as you bring training up to the forefront is you're getting better. Like, you're improving dramatically. And what happens by default as your skill elevates is you can't help but elevate within your execution as well. So that's what I mean about, like, when you try to slow it down, it speeds up. This is what I mean. What you guys are doing is an exact example of that. When you slow down the entire process of everything that you're doing, you're putting more emphasis on training. You're plugged in more. You're in the environment more. You're immersing yourself in the environment of TA more and more. By default, your execution gets better. You don't even be realizing what you've done within the time that you're actually engaged in the market for. So my point is, 2 weeks goes by, you slow it down, you still end up with 3-4 trades out of the 2 weeks. Like, you see what I'm saying? So like, just even what I'm doing personally, the way that I've slowed down, I literally slowed down to a crawl on purpose just to show what it looks like. But like, just having the mindset to do things slowly, take your time, and really just absorb training and allow your execution to become operative in the background without trying to mentally do anything. It's not like you trying to time trade. You're not doing any of that. If you just put yourself in position when you're on the charts and make yourself available, the fact that you have the skill and you're taking your time and you're waiting for the market to present you with what you're looking for, the market is going to give it to you. Like, that's the amazing part of all of this. That's why I don't understand why people, I don't know, they be just complicating what we do. Some people will complicate this and make it hard for themselves. They're not making it hard. They're making it hard for themselves. You see what I'm saying? Which is weird. It's very weird, but I still have yet to figure out why people do that. But I know that people are doing that. Not you guys. But I don't understand why anybody does that. That's the part that still gets me. I don't understand why anyone does that. James Wallace said, I took a trade that was priced out and didn't get filled. I didn't delete the trade in time and got filled on the reversal. Right. That's it. That's all it was. Instability got you. Yep. So, there's like a lot that we learn throughout the process of the way that we train and the way we put it down. Most of your learning lessons are going to take place during the training process versus when you take trades. When someone puts themselves in a position where they take a trade in the market and they end up losing the trade, I more so attribute that to you being a little anxious to be in a trade, so you will misinterpret the timing of the trade that you end up taking at that time. And then that puts you in position to become vulnerable because you're able to identify exactly what it was that you did wrong. You see what I'm saying? It would be a little different if you couldn't put a finger on what you did wrong and you're wondering why you lost the trade. But that's not what happens. You know exactly what you did wrong. You see what I'm saying? So it just was a matter of you not having the patience at the time to wait for the market to subside away from that environment and that behavior that's not stable. And as a result of that, you put yourself in the line of fire and the market catches you that way. So that's just another learning lesson along the route, if that's something that happens to go on. But for the most part, you guys are gonna experience way, way less than that. Like you're gonna just get to a point where you ain't even gonna experience that at all. You're gonna stop doing that. If that's something that you were moving towards doing, we're gonna do everything that we can to help auto-correct you before you do it. It's just like why I make it like almost a mission now to make sure that we get at you as soon as we hear a little inkling of something that you know that you shouldn't be doing. As soon as we hear about that, we on top of you. Accountability, we gotta hold you accountable for what you're about to do, but we at the same time are gonna say and do things on purpose to get you not to do it. That's powerful stuff. It's like your team is backing you up. And that's how I always look at that, because that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Like you have a team that's here backing you up, holding you accountable on purpose because we see what you're about to do. And because of that, you won't do it. Because you know that it's like, oh, well, it's all eyes on you now. Like, you feel like, damn, they looking at me. Yeah, we looking at you. And we already know that you know that that's not what you should do. It's just like this. It's the same reason why certain questions come up, even on live training or just in general. As soon as somebody's asking certain questions, we already know what direction that you're moving in. And we're going to auto correct that immediately so that you don't go in that direction at all. And the further away from moving in that direction that you stay, the closer that you're going to remain just hugging the group and hugging, you know, what it is that we're supposed to do at all times. And you're going to be held accountable. You're going to be held accountable. And that's some powerful stuff. Like, you know, that's why, like, what we do here on TA is just remarkable because nobody wants to see you waste your time. You know what I'm saying? Like, period. And you can easily waste time by being thirsty and being anxious. It's easy to do. But we're going to be on your ass. Make sure that you're not doing that. Like, point blank, period. And I know some people don't appreciate that at first, but after a while, you need that. Especially the more that you are having to deal with yourself. You know, like it becomes more so bullshit that you got to stop doing personally. And if that's the case, I'm going to do everything I can to get you to talk. Because as soon as you start talking about what you're doing, we can spot it and we can help to correct you right away. Because otherwise, you just go off doing your bullshit and won't say nothing in silence. Don't do that. Like I keep telling you guys, don't do that. Talk about what you're doing. Because even if you feel that what you're doing is right, still talk about it. Because if you're not right, you need to be checked so that you stop. Because that's a habit that you're creating. A bad one. And then because you in silence trying to deal with everything on your own, you thinking you're doing it the right way until you lose. Then when you lose, you're like, damn, what happened? I don't think this is working. It's not that this ain't working. You have not learned how to navigate yourself. And I always tell you, don't do it by yourself. You're not alone. Don't try to navigate everything alone. You don't have to do that. You got a whole group of people that's here going through the same exact thing as you. So just lean on everybody else. Absolutely. I like what Rich just said right there. Hugging success. He said talking will fill in the gaps. 100%. He said, if you can commit to 301, you will win consistently without a doubt. I know training works. Come on, man. JT said, I try to post all my trades. I'm not embarrassed at all. Not long ago, I forgot what week it was. It might have been maybe about a couple of weeks ago. JT had posted a trade, and we got on him. He was like, no. And at the time, it's going to be something that you don't necessarily want to hear because you might feel justified with what you did. Or, you know, you just navigating. You trying to like get to where you know that you're going to end up being, but you're going to have bumps along the way. And those are just things that you're dealing with yourself. Like it might be over. Maybe you're just doing too much. You might just be doing too much analysis. You know what I'm saying? And you got analysis paralysis. It could be whatever it is. But I guarantee you that whatever it is, it's self-inflicted. It's something that you put on yourself. And it's easy to do. It's easy to do. That's why it's the best thing for you to always talk it out and talk about what you're doing. Ask questions. Whether you new or whether you seasoned, it don't matter. I would say if you seasoned it to do it more so. Because that'll be helpful for other students that are newer. They can hear your thought process and see what you're thinking about. Matthew said, I don't want to know names, but how many students have reached the 1 year no losses? There has to be more than just 2 of us. Good question. Good question. And the two he's talking about is himself and Benito. And there are, I know of actually several people that are also there that they're never engaged in a group. It's a very interesting dynamic because I see that depending on how you're wired, it's going to determine the way that you interact with the group. Some people are just not wired to be social. You know what I'm saying? But they are training. So some people ain't never going to say nothing. But for those of you that are active, definitely, I want you to speak up, you know, when you reach accomplishments. Like not losing for X amount of time, that's an accomplishment, a huge one. That's a huge accomplishment. That's nothing to sneeze at or take lightly. Ramon says some people playing Russian roulette with the market and the casino always wins in the end. That's true. Very true. Rich said he's in 3 months with no losses. On my way to the great ones. Look at Joel. He said, you got traders that haven't lost in a year? Yeah, man. Yeah, Joel, you're gonna be one of them. What you think you came here for? You didn't come here to lose. Nah. You here to learn how to stop losing. If you were losing before, or if you knew and this is all new to you, you're learning how not to lose. Like, period. Losing is not part of the equation of what we do at all. JT said, I'll start talking and explaining more in my video. Excellent suggestion. I'm just going to talk and let it rip. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Andre, what's good, man? And yeah, you know, and like, I love that reaction. Like, you see how Joel reacted. He was bugging out. He was like, wait. It's like, you got people that haven't lost in a year? Yes. That's what TeamAlliance is about, man. That's it. And that's why, as you're going through the training process here with us, I want you to make it your business to engage, because if you're taking trades, first of all, why are you taking trades? Even if you're in a demo account, you need to know why. You need to know why you're taking trades. Damn, the plug is all the way over there. I ain't got no plug right here. This laptop is down. I got a little bit though. I got a little bit of juice. But yeah, so if you're taking trades, you need to know why you're taking trades. That's first and foremost, right? So that way, when you lose, you understand why you lost. You shouldn't be taking a bunch of trades and demo not knowing what you're doing. Like, why did you take the trade? Oh, Mark, I'm practicing. I'm 5-0 today. All right. You took 5 trades today? Why? Explain to me why you took each one of them. Can you do that? This is why it's so important to engage with us. This, like, why you think I'm doing this? I'm doing a recap because we're talking about what we did in the week. This, you need to step up and talk. Like, what'd you do this week? Did you take trades? If you did, how many? You're in demo? Okay, what'd you do in demo? You didn't take any trades? Okay. Do you understand why you didn't take trades? Like that's the whole purpose of this dialogue, to be able to talk about everything that we do in the market so you can be corrected. Because you didn't come here to learn how to lose lose a few and win most. You came here to learn how to not lose at all, period. And if you were losing, you're here to learn how to stop losing. Like, that's it. We ain't talking about nothing else. There's nothing else to talk about. Dimitri said, I swear you always find the right time to say the right thing as if you're talking directly to me. My longest streak, I went 20 and now since April 1st. I still struggle a little where I catch myself slipping, but I realize I identify with why I made those mistakes instead of being clueless. Still learning. Thank you. This is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, man. That's power. Listen to what Dimitri just said. He said, since April, I still struggle a little where I catch myself slipping. But I realize I identify with why. What did I just say? What was I just talking about? Do you understand why you're taking the trip? Do you see what I'm saying? Come on, man. This is why you're not gonna lose. You're not here to learn something that is sometimey. Oh, you're gonna win most of the time. You know, the win rate is pretty good. No. Losing ain't even part of the equation of what we do, period. And that's real talk. That's not me just talking. Rich said, once you acquire the skill, you will never lose again. Come on, man. He said, unless you decide to take a trade, you know you could lose. Come on, man, that's hard. He said, what are you struggling with? Dimitri said, 20 and 3 since April. Last 3, I know exactly why I lost. Rich is asking, what have you heard or seen in the group that you want to clarify? I think so Rich, you're talking to Dimitri, right? I think he's asking you that question, Dimitri. And this is what I love. Like, I love, you see what we're doing right now? How we just dialoguing about it? You literally just sitting here talking about it and having a conversation. That's what a team is. Matthew says, you only lose if you choose to. I mean, it's true though. You know, it sounds simple and cut and dry, but it is. He said, I struggle with fear of loss or fear of missing out. Now, the most powerful thing about what Dimitri just said is the fact that he said exactly what it is that he's struggling with. He's able to identify exactly what it is. That's the first step. Once you know what the problem is, now you have the diagnosis, you know how to treat. How do we treat being afraid to lose or being afraid to miss out on something? How do we, what's the medication for that? What's the prescription for that? You guys tell me. Tell me what it is. I want to hear what y'all have to say. Tell me what it is. What is the prescription for that? Dimitri said, all I have to do is remain patient because I haven't traded in a while. I felt like I had to so that I wouldn't miss out. I need to chill a little more. All right. So Dimitri, the 3 trades that you lost, were they all back? Well, I'm assuming that they were back to back. That's my first question. Second question is, were they all on the same day? So you can just break down when you took the 3 losses. Like, were they consecutive losses? Were they the same day? Or was it scattered? JT said, repeat the question. The question I was asking was what is the prescription or the medication for having the fear of losing or the fear of missing trades? What is what's the medication for that you should take? That was my question. I love it. I'm gonna wait before I read that. Let me see if anyone else says anything first. Rich said I was struggling with doing play-by-play, but for too long, so I went back to 301, which reduced my chart time, and the result has been a more relaxed approach. Less time at my computer, and solid execution. So Rich said, I went back to 301. It reduced my chart time. The result has been a more relaxed approach, less time at the computer, and solid execution. Dimitri is saying that the losses were scattered. The time in between taking trades extended. I chased trades that backfired. Got you. All right. JT, I didn't expect anything less than what you're saying. So what you said, what Matthew said, I thought I saw Jay Carly say something also. And that is something to think about. Rich said maybe you should have stopped after your first loss. But you know how it is. Sometimes you just be going through, and when you go through, you just do what you do until you stop. I mean, like this is the first time I'm even hearing from Dimitri about this. So obviously something that I said today triggered him to speak up about it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do this all the time. It might be one thing or one particular day where something is said, and that's the day that you open up and you actually engage. You know what I'm saying? He said he took 3 to stop now observing. Dealing with yourself is not easy at all. And that's why we're here for everyone. Like, we're here for one another. He said, you're right, Markets. What you said, I felt like I needed to get it out. Right. Oh, okay. He said, you're right, Mark. What you said, I felt that I needed to get it out. Indeed. And what you guys said, JT and Matthew said the same exact thing. And I saw Jay Carly comment. But basically the answer to that question is you train. The medication, the prescription, the solution, whatever you want to call it, to the diagnosis that you have. And your diagnosis is whatever issue that you're dealing with right now. It might be the fear of losing. It might be the fear of missing out. It might be thirst. It might be analysis paralysis. You see what I'm saying? Whatever it is, the prescription is the same for all of them. It don't matter what the problem is. Train. Train. Ooh. Rich, you better chill. He said the medicine for the pain is to train. That's it. Look, Dimitri, repetition, trying to get out, trying to let go of my bad habit. And it's like repetition of what? I don't know how that happened. Hold on. Wendell said, go back and observe the trades that you lost, find out why you lost them. Said, then you'll find the answer. Yeah, he already know. He already know exactly why he lost them trades. That's it. Training, repetition of training. Same medicine for all of this shit. JT said it's almost like you have to be happy and thankful for what you do have now. We are more abundant than we think, living in the present without a care in the world, peacefully. That's a deep level of insight right there. What JT just said is very close to the idea of you're always dealing with the trade that you're taking right now. Like nothing that you did matters. Right? You 50 and 0. Alright. Okay. Your next trade is the only trade. The 50 trades don't count. You reset after every trade. Uh-oh. Yeah. You got to reset after every trade. So that means that your execution should be the same for every trade. You don't switch up because you on a streak. Oh man, I'm 55 and 0, man. I hope I can keep this streak up. Whatever you did to execute to get to up to 55 trades, why would you do anything different? You see what I'm saying? When you train, it reminds you to not deviate from what you're doing. That's why training keeps us where we need to be. It's the same reason why an athlete trains. They train to keep themselves in the condition that they're in. All right, you in a great condition. You know, you got speed. Boom, boom, boom. If you a boxer, you got tremendous speed. How do you keep that speed? How do you keep the ability to have that much speed? It's your training. That's all it is. It's the repetition. Yes, maintenance. Like just think about it. It's easier to keep your house clean than it is to get your house clean if it was dirty. It's much easier. I would much rather maintain than to try to get to the point again. You understand? Like, I don't want to start everything over and then have to get back to where I was. I just want to stay where I'm at. I want to stay in the elevated position that I'm in. This is powerful shit, man. Demetri said, it's almost like I tricked myself to believe something that wasn't true. It ain't even almost. That's exactly what you did. Rich said, emotional intelligence mode should always be on. All the time. He said, whether it's 5 minutes or 3 hours. Look, Demetri said 2 of them were Stall and Pop. Last one I just gambled. Look, he recognizing exactly what he did. Yo. Matthew said, losing can become a habit just like winning can. Uh-oh. 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 Don't we talk about it all the time? Creating bad habits? Come on, man. Matthew says, hoping that you keep the streak going, let you know that your streak wasn't based on your skill at all. You just got lucky. I feel it coming. Might drop on the way. Ooh, Rich said, yeah, you can practice to lose. Lord have mercy. JT, he said, that's hardcore face, Dimitri. Yeah, I know you will, Dimitri. And through your observation, what you'll just simply do is begin to insist that all of your habits meet the criteria of what is expected of you, which is a winning situation. That's it. There's only one thing expected of you here, and that's to win. Not because we crazy and we think that we can win and we want to do the impossible. Nah, it's not even that it's impossible. It's what we should be doing. You understand? The winning is the norm for us. That's not the exception. That's why if you're losing, we already know that you're doing something wrong that you shouldn't be doing. You're not losing because something that is a framework that wins don't work. Like, people will try to flip it around like that, and you know damn well that you just deviated from what you're being trained to do if you lost a trade. That's it. And then on top of that, you know exactly what it was that you did. So what does that tell you about what we do? It tells you that it ain't us, it ain't the framework, it's you. And then on top of that, even after you realize that it's you, you still got the team behind you rooting for you. Because we're gonna correct it. It's like, all right, you messed up. You know why you messed up? All right, cool. Reset, start over. And all start over means is to start taking the medication now. You know what that is. 301 on repeat. That's it. That's it. Take your medicine. Take your medicine. This is good stuff. All right, y'all. Let me get up out of here. Listen, y'all have an awesome weekend. I will see y'all on Sunday on training. Another awesome week. Y'all be safe. I'm out.